Hey, is that folk music that you play there? What is that? How do you call that folk music?
I think it was Studs Terkel who asked Big Bill Brunzi, did he consider his blues music to be folk music? And Big Bill says, well, never heard no horses.
Don't hesitate. It could be your ticket to a new tomorrow.
Quebrado camino que va a la sierra huasteca, se oye cantar un jinete que monta una yegua prieta. Al acompasado trote de la jaca tan inquieta, trote el agudo falsete con que el jinete se alegra. Ay, la, ay, la. De lejos vengo a verte a conseguir lo que quiero, aunque la vida me cueste. Así envuelve en el camino, envuelve jinetes ciegos, hasta que los dos se piedren entre en tu vida arboleda. Después ya solo se escucha por la lejana vereda el falsete del huasteco que al cantar así se expresa. Ay, la, ay, la. De lejos vengo yo a verte a conseguir lo que quiero, aunque la vida me cueste.
Thank you so much.
All right. The show is Horses Sing None of It. My name is Ralph Litwin, and our guest today is Ronstadt Generations,
Hi, Ralph. Good to be here.
Thanks for having us.
which is Michael J. Ronstadt
That's
on the
correct.
far end, Michael G.
Yes.
Ronstadt on the cello,
Yep.
and Petey Ronstadt on the guitar next to me.
Indeed.
Welcome.
Thanks
you.
for having us. It's a pleasure being here.
Good to be here.
Why don't you tell us about that first song?
That's a song that has been in our family for many, many years. We used to sing it at family gatherings. It's a song about a road. The title of the song is El Camino, which means the road. And it's about a cowboy coming out of the hills on his horse. He's happy and he's singing. And he's singing in that sort of falsette style that I did there at the end, where you go up into the falsetto. And one of the images in that song is of the horse rider passing the guy writing the song, and he rides down this road, and there's trees growing up over it, big mesquite trees that grow up in the desert, and the dust, the afternoon dust is sort of enveloping him, and he just sort of disappears into the dust. And in the 50s, my dad took a picture of a road down in Mexico, and it was exactly of that scene, and so that song always invokes that memory of that picture. So we love doing it like that. Reminds me of my dad.
Nice. What else would you like to share with us?
Well, we got a song that Michael wrote.
Well, I wrote this song called Prelude to a High Life, and I was in graduate school in 2007 and 2008 getting my master's, but all I wanted to do was just go on the road and perform. So this song somewhat speaks about the luxuries that the road would bring. And the luxuries are quite amazing. Small cars and lots of people and bags, and we drive many miles. So this is called Prelude to a High Life, and I would take none of this touring back for anything. Ice glares and liars, 5 black iron rod September light. On hold, Mercy's home doors locked and people warm, peering out at staring crowds. Our thoughts have just run out. Sit down and listen. Things aren't black and white. Let your proudness waver and look at all the lines. Look at all the lines. Look at all the lines. Straight-faced and sounding right, singing songs and shining bright. Staple and bound in gold, this old tale's already been told. Sit down and listen. Things aren't black and white. Let your proudness waver and look at all the lines. Look at all the lines. Look at all the lines.
right, all right.
Well, thank you.
Good one.
Well, thank you.
You know, it's Mikey wrote a song when it has both D major and minor chords in the same one because he likes to
I like to confuse people. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. That's what a music education can do to you, right?
So the music goes way back in your family.
It does indeed.
Yeah.
Our great-great-grandfather came from Germany and ended up in Mexico, and his son, our great-grandfather, ended up in Tucson when he was a young man and started the first Philharmonic band in Tucson in the late 1800s, as well as starting a hardware store. His profession was a hardware store, but he always performed and played music throughout his life, all the way up until the very end, and started a tradition that we try to hold true to today. Many traveling musicians. My dad's aunt traveled the world under the name Luisa Espinel, doing Spanish gypsy music, and our aunt also traveled the world playing music. So it's something that we like to try to keep going.
That's great. What else you got for us?
Well,
We got a song that my dad wrote. I mentioned that my great-grandfather started a hardware store in Tucson. It was called the Ronstadt Company, and it was a very diverse store. It could sell anything from teaspoons to tractors to bulldozers to housewares of all kinds. And one of the things that they did is they put up a lot of the windmills in southern Arizona. Windmills are very important to southern Arizona because it's a desert, not a lot of water. And this song is a song that my dad wrote about a windmill north of Tucson in a little town of Oracle, or a little town called Oracle. And he can tell you a little bit about that windmill.
This is a windmill I used to drive by every once in a while I was working in the hardware company. I'd go out and visit ranchers in the surrounding areas. And every once in a while I'd drive past this little windmill, which was an Oracle. And it had come down one night in a storm, and it just buckled on two sides. So it was leaned over like a great big sunflower getting ready to fall over. And I felt really sorry for this old windmill and wrote a song about it. Well, they gather at sundown, the wind and the creatures, and all of them wait for the mill. But the wind's sitting quiet, it's not saying a thing, and it's not even moving the mill. Ah, the moon's gonna miss you tonight. And the crickets start chirping down by the water, and all of them wait for the mill. And the fox and the badger, thirsty and tired, all of them head for the mill. Oh, the moon's gonna miss you tonight. And the wind started talking, whispers at first, Louder and louder she yelled. Oh, the sails were turning faster and faster, and the wind sang a song with the mill. Then the rain started beating out of the east, and the hail started pounding the mill. Can't you hear the storm scream? It sounded like steel. A leg buckles and down comes the mill. Oh, the moon's gonna miss you tonight. Oh, there you are standing alone in the heat, and the silence is hurting my ears. Once shiny steel, all upright and proud, and the wind won its race with the mill. Oh, the moon's gonna miss you tonight. Oh, the moon's gonna miss you. Moon's gonna miss you. Moon's gonna miss you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Very nice,
Thank you.
beautiful song.
Thank you.
Well, folks can find out more about where you're playing and what your recordings are available on your website,
That's-
ronstadtgenerations.com.
That's true.
Correct, yeah.
That's true. We've got all the information up there, where we're going to be, and we've got a blog up there. Sometimes we put things on about where we're actually at
Or-
that time and what
or-
we're doing. So
Or how many hours we're waiting in the airport. Yeah.
And we really do like hearing from all the people out there. It really makes, sometimes the life of a traveling musician can be a lonely one. Luckily, we get to spend it with family, but even then, sometimes you crave for attention from people other than your family, and it's really nice to hear from the people out there. It keeps life interesting.
one of the great things about doing what we do the way we do it is that we get to go into house concerts and smaller venues and actually get to know our audience, which I think is a very important thing. It's one of the things that I really enjoy seeing coming back now, because when I was a kid, I used to go watch my sister and my bigger sister and my big brother play in Tucson in the little coffee houses there. Pete Seeger would come through. I saw Michael Cooney there and all those guys. And I was just a little tyke. That's what I grew up on. So, and then that sort of disappeared, and I'm really happy to see that type of stuff coming back.
Michael Cooney stayed at my house one night.
Did he really?
Parked in his van out in our driveway with
Oh,
an electric cord.
He was a character. Yeah. I love this song about the little rabbit in the woods.
So what else do you have for us?
We have a song that I wrote called "Will You Fade," and it's something that I wrote after reading an article about the Cuyahoga River in Ohio. In Tucson, we got a bunch of rivers, but none of them have water in them. So if you see a fire in the river, it just means somebody's having a party. There's a bonfire down there, not a big deal. But I was reading about this Cuyahoga River, and I guess it used to catch fire about 60, 70 years ago. It used to catch fire pretty frequently. And I thought that was kind of a crazy thing. So I wrote a song about how it made me feel called "Will You Fade?" Live your strange hide. This place is the same. Lord, the Christ
have seen no God-fearing man. Harmony is a treasure's chest with dissonance where lights are set. Man will thrive like a pest. Man will die without his rest. I have seen no God-fearing man. I have seen no God-fearing man. Come down to the edge. I have seen no God-fearing man. Come down to the edge. Lady peace, so smile on one way. Freedom rings like heaven's own sun. Brimstone rings with the rising sun. Will you fade just like the last one? Lady peace, so smile on one way. Freedom rings like heaven's own sun. Brimstone rains with the rising sun. Will you fade just like the last one? Freedom rings like heaven's own sun. Will you fade just like the last one? Freedom rings. Thank you. Peter Ronstadt.
Nice one.
Thank you.
Would you like to talk a little bit about what you're doing in hospitals and senior centers?
Sure. We've been playing in some of the rest homes and Alzheimer's care facilities, especially. We started doing that last June out in this area, and this time back we've done quite a few more. You know, it's one of those, music is a very special thing. Music is something that can unlock memory, especially with people that are affected with dementia or Alzheimer's. I've actually seen that working myself in a gentleman that I've known all my life, and we were playing one time in a little house concert, and he came in and he didn't have any idea who I was, which surprised me. I had no idea that he had Alzheimer's. And the minute we started to play, he looked up at me and said, "Hi, Michael," which just completely floored me. And the entire set, he knew the words. We were playing old Sons of the Pioneers songs, and he knew the words, sang along. When I put my guitar back down, turned around to talk to him, he was back inside of his own little world. So all of us feel very strongly about if we can just for a brief instant allow those folks to have some sort of connection with the outside world again, or to relive memories or whatever. It's a wonderful thing. And a lot of the people that we played to last June remembered us this year, this time when we came out, which really was a wonderful thing. There's a project going, Memory Through Music, and they're organization that's providing iPods to folks in these rest home facilities and care facilities. And so people can donate iPods to them, and they load them up with their music, and that's another wonderful thing, because a lot of them just don't have anybody coming to visit, and so if they can have some music to get them through the day, that's a wonderful thing. So we intend to do a lot more of that.
Great. Great work.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I think it's a great thing. It's a wonderful experience, not only for the folks that are out in the audience, but it's a great experience for us as well. You know, it's something that we learn from and get quite a bit from. So.
Why don't you give us some more music to take it out?
Sure.
All righty.
Yeah.
You want to play along with us?
Sure.
Key of E, little blues.
Yeah, this is a song that my sister did on her very first album, the old Stone Ponies album. And she didn't sound anything like we do. I ain't the Iceman, I ain't his son. I keep you cool until the Iceman comes, 'cause I'm wild about my loving. I like to have my fun. If you wanna be my girl, baby, bring her with you when you come. I ain't the fireman, I ain't his son. I keep you warm until the fireman comes. 'Cause I'm wild about my loving. I like to have my fun. Don't you know he likes to have his fun? If you wanna be my girl,